So as I said on my Facebook video, if you're coming from Facebook to over to YouTube, I decided to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to try and make sure that the videos outside of YouTube, they're kind of kept smaller, because I know you guys have time and you don't have time to waste listening to other people talk, unless it's informative and kind of to the point. And your time is valuable, my time is valuable, so I'll try and keep it short. Now, with this video, this is going to be more of that explanation. If you're here, it is because you want to learn. You are here because maybe you just want a different perspective. I don't know everything. I don't know. Sometimes half of what I talk about is a new concept that I even just learned, and I'm telling you that now. I am simply here to give you another perspective. I do not judge you guys. I don't care what you do with your lives. I just know how I felt, where I was, knowing that the question of what do I want to do in my future, that question pissed me off so much because you couldn't wake up and just do that. You can't just sit here and say, oh, well, I like to do this and this and this, so I'm going to do this. I mean, sure you could, but you don't know if that's what you really want to do, and you question it, and it's just a repeated circle. It drives you mad. Trust me, I know. And so what we had talked about on my last video and what I want to talk about today is seeing something and understanding that it's nothing more than a foundation, and know that just because this is how it is doesn't mean it can't be built to grow. You know, they say when you're cleaning or doing remodeling of a house, I'll never forget, I can't remember, I believe the movie was Are We There Yet 2 is where I first heard this concept. And if I've actually lived by, not I haven't lived by it, but I've used it again and again. And I remember they were sitting there and they were remodeling the house, and I can't remember the names, but the guy was talking and he said, anything you are going to try and fix, it is going to get worse before it gets better. And, you know, growing up, I really looked at that and I thought about it. I was like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Well, of course. I mean, you got to pull everything out and go about switching. You got to go about switching everything around, the carpet, the wooding, putting everything together. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little unorganized, but it's not going to get worse, just a little messy. But what if we apply that? And so I'm actually on a trail right now and people are running by me, so I kind of look like the oddball out, being all dressed up in jeans, flip-flops, and a Guru t-shirt. But that concept, it's going to get worse before it gets better. If you actually really think about that, there's a reason why those videos get boring about those successful people who say, oh, look at me, I'm at the top because I started at the bottom and now I'm here. Like, we've all heard it, we've all seen it, it's not new, it's actually fairly boring now. If you're like me and you've looked up a bunch of stuff, you're probably getting hit with ads left and right about, oh, you know, you got to see the way I did this or the way I do that, or why this person, there's not a step-by-step program, all about how they became successful from nothing. And none of them had the confidence to start it when they're at the bottom. They all had to make sure for themselves that they had to get there first before they could make an impact. And that's where I'm trying to be different. Just as a quick little thing with me is trying to be different with that. I'm trying to show you guys just simple mindset changes it, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. They're all at the bottom already. They already know what it's like to be worse. They're all probably in student loan debt, and they know that, at this rate, if I'm working at a coffee shop minimum wage, I owe $75,000 in debt. Oh, at this rate, I should be able to pay that off in about 120 years. They know they have to do something different. they're forced into a position to have to do something different, which is why they usually become successful. They build those skill sets. They build the idea of knowing, hey, I have absolutely nothing, but I'm not about to slave my life away just because of that. And they learn to build off of that foundation. They learn that it is going to get worse before it gets better, because that's the only way you're going to learn. Okay? If you have been handed things to you, and this is coming from, I was very spoiled growing up. Very, very spoiled. And after flunking out of 3 different colleges, it took me a while to even understand it. I'd always been handed stuff. Stuff came pretty easy to me. I didn't have it bad. Both my parents were well educated, had good jobs, retired well. I didn't have it bad. I never really learned those skills, though, because of it. I never really learned what it was like to hit a rock bottom up until I just did it emotionally, not even physically. So I'm not even in a bad physical standpoint like they were. But I learned to build off what I do have. And one of the things that I keep seeing, people will tell me, or people will go around and say, oh, I don't have enough money. Man, if you saw my bank account when I started this shenanigans, I shouldn't be doing it. I should not be doing this. I should not be investing in what I invested in. I should not have spent time where I spent my time in. But I did. And I'm glad I did, because it helped me learn a lot. Now, we finally got here. Like I said, it's all about the foundation. This is my favorite trail, my favorite place to be. And it's not just any trail. I mean, it's the Rabbit Run Trail, or White Rabbit Run, I think that's what it's called. And the reason why I like it so much is because it's not out of the way. It's right here in the middle of a subdivision, tucked away. It's a beautiful little park. There's enough people here to make it so you're not lonely, but there's enough privacy at the same time to think, Everybody's here with a different purpose. Some are here walking their dogs, riding their bike, going for a walk for themselves, trying to get into shape, shooting a video. They're all here for different reasons, but at the same time, they're all here for the same one: to be outside and enjoy the fresh air while they do something they know they have to do. They see a foundation and they build on it. They know they have to do things, so why not make the best of it? Now, this lake it's kind of frozen, kind of not. It's probably pretty mushy. If I was to jump in there, I feel like I wouldn't get back out. I would just go straight through. And you can't really do too much with it, right? I mean, it's mush. It's lush. It's not frozen over, so it's not thick enough to go through, and it's too soft to really build on top of it. So you kind of can't do anything with it until it thaws out for the springtime and lets all the water come back. So hey, now you have something consistent that you can work with. But you could do that, and you can wait again and again until the conditions are just right. But by the time the conditions are just right, I guarantee you somebody already thought that, and somebody already started planning today. And so by the time it's consistent and you finally start looking at it like, okay, the conditions are perfect, time to get to work, somebody will definitely already beaten you there, because they didn't see this as a frozen, I can't do anything with the lake. No, they started looking at it differently, building quicker and more efficiently, because over time your plans only get better. One of the things I preach with school, because it's a lot of people here, they know I hate school, or at least that's what they think I do. They think I hate school, and truth be told, I just don't like school because it's not for me. But there's a foundation they plant, education, learning, to try and grow. That's all elementary school is. That's all middle school is. High school. They set the foundation for you to grow. And they want you to grow and grow and grow and learn all these things so that when you finally graduate, you can build on this. Your time in school is spent planning. What is this going to be? your future, it's going to be so bright. Yes, right now it's just a lake that's frozen over. And it's boring now because, school, you got to learn, you got to prepare, you got to do everything right so you won't fail. And in the meantime, somebody was already planning. Somebody was already doing. They're already building on that foundation. And the other thing is, when you guys, it seems with this whole what do I want to do with my future thing, don't overthink it. I mean, it's so easy to see what you like. It is so easy to see what you love to do. I mean, man, I love to relax. Awesome. I love to game. Awesome. Look deeper than that. Build on that. Use that as your foundation. Well, why do I like to game? Well, because it gives me a chance to relax, gives me a break from society. Maybe if you are a people person, it gives you a break from the people. Maybe it offers a sense of accomplishment like it did for myself. Playing level after level or, game after game. Just that sense of accomplishment. There's nothing wrong with that. People sit here and say, you can't do that because it wastes time. Well, you can't do that because you got to be always working. No, you don't. You do not have to always be working. That's the biggest lie I've ever heard. If you are always working, you are not successful. If you are feeling the need to always feel pressure and anxiety because you know that if you get sick and you can't go to work and you can't pay for anything, is that really that successful? Don't listen to the people who keep telling you got to do everything. You got to drop everything. You got to drop your friends who are negative around you. You got to drop... No. The only thing you need to drop is the negative habits. You don't need to drop the negative people. If the negative people want to stay negative while you go through the transformation, let them stay negative. Be a role model. Be the one who's looking at them thinking, hey, man, I'll still be your friend. I'm still there for you. But just don't agree with them. Don't do what they want to do. Just change your habits. Either A, they'll change it too, and they'll want to build on this foundation with you, or B, they're going to stay the same, and you guys may or may not be friends anymore. But as long as you know it is strictly because you changed your habits and wanted to just grow as an individual off of what you enjoy to do, then that's okay. That is okay. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody has a starting point. Just because you already went to college and you graduated does not mean you stop learning. Just because you drop out and don't have to wake up every morning and go to classes, the part that nobody liked to do, just because that stopped doesn't mean you stop learning. You can't get lazy about that. You got to see this, understand, you got to build from it. This is just a frozen lake, but what can it be? Some people say, well, we could turn it into a fishing ground. Well, that's sure, but that's not building anything. That's just inviting people to do something they already know they could do if they had a fishbowl with them. What if you were to make, this is the perfect size. What if you were to try and rent this lake out and build a dock on it with jet skis? Because, people in this area, they've never been on a jet ski before. There's not many lakes around here. They have to drive an hour away or so to finally get to a lake, and then they have the problem of, all right, now I want a jet ski and rent it out. It costs how much money? Why can't you do that here? Why can't you build that here? Because I'll tell you now, if you were to do that and the winter season came around, well, that's almost like a paradise, because then you just close for the winter. You don't even have to do anything for the summer, or do anything for the winter, I mean. You got these beautiful woods behind you right in a lake. It's all tucked away on a nature walk that people already enjoy doing. They enjoy doing it because it's refreshing, fresh air, it's a break from people, and you can think on your own. And when you can think on your own, it's a powerful thing because you can build on that foundation. Now, last thing I want to talk about before we wrap this up, and once you really think about this here, This is the real reason why I absolutely love this park, is because I used to make fun of this, and I still make fun of it because it's absolutely terrible. Terrible security, but hey, I started looking at it as a lesson, and it's funny how you can turn small things into a lesson. But if you're on my Snapchat, you know you've seen this before. If you've seen it, I always joke about this. Private property beyond this point, no public access. Access. Okay. So if you had to get from point A, which is right here where I am standing, to point B, which is right here on the other side of this fence, you and I both know the answer. It's very, very clear. Just go around the gate. That means I still got to my destination because I wanted to be on the other side of the fence, but I couldn't keep walking straight. I had to simply go around. Apply that to your life, guys. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are doing. If you find something you hate or don't like, find a way around it. Think about it. Use logic to think about it. If you don't like something, think a little bit deeper as to why you don't like it. Because the sooner you find a solution, the quicker you, A, not only get to where you're wanting to go, which is on the other side of this fence, but you not only get that, but you also learn something every single time. You learn how to be a problem solver. And not just a problem solver with work, like, hey, we're out of paper, let's go get more paper, that kind of problem solver. I mean, hey, I hate waking up in the mornings. I need to find a way to get a job where I maybe don't wake up in the mornings. Maybe that's what I need. Pretty soon you learn little things like, you know, maybe I don't want to wake up in the morning. Okay, maybe I don't want to be sitting at a desk all day, or maybe I want to be sitting at a desk more. Why? Because I prefer sitting or standing, and you start to figure small things out. So yes, very easy to get around that, and whoever actually is the property owner of this, if you're watching this, somehow see this, you need to, new security is needed. But to the rest of you guys, look at that as a lesson. You're still going to get to where you want to go. You're always going to have a random obstacle placed around, and it really is just that simple. Just take some time to think about it and find a solution. I appreciate this is my first real video on YouTube, first explanation video, so feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll try and get back, or shoot me an email, or message me on Facebook. Let me know what you guys want to hear me talk about. Like I said, I'm not trying to teach people how to think. I don't care how you think. I really don't care how you think. If it works for you, awesome. If you're not happy where you want to go, then listen, because I'll tell you now, I am in that boat. I was not happy. I'm still not there. I don't have that major success story, but oh God, I'm hungry. So stay tuned in, and I will see you guys next time.